Have you ever wondered why some people rise while others stay stuck in the same place year after year? Why some transform their entire life while others keep repeating the same cycle of frustration, disappointment, and excuses? What if I told you that your entire reality could shift not by changing everything, but by controlling just four things that are already inside you, shaping every sunrise, every decision, every painful moment, every victory? These four things are not external. They are not dependent on luck, the economy, your background, or anyone else's approval. They are the hidden levers behind every breakthrough, every transformation, every extraordinary story you've ever admired. And the shocking truth is this: most people give these four things away. They hand them to stress, to fear, to distraction, to the opinions of people who don't even care about their future. They wake up and surrender control without even realizing it. And then they wonder why life feels heavy, why opportunities slip away, why nothing seems to change no matter how hard they try. Today, I want you to hear this not as inspiration, but as a direct challenge to your identity. Because once you take back control of these four things, your focus, your attitude, your decisions, and your energy, your life will no longer be shaped by circumstance. It will be shaped by intention. You will stop reacting and start directing. You will stop surviving your life and start designing it. So as you listen, I want you to open your mind like you're hearing truth for the first time. Forget everything you've been told about success being complicated, slow, or reserved for a chosen few. This is not about becoming someone else. This is about reclaiming who you were always meant to be before the world told you to shrink. Let's start with the first shift: focus. The world is louder than ever, pulling you in 1,000 directions. And most people don't lose because they lack potential. They lose because they lack clarity. They are busy but not effective, active but not aligned, surrounded by noise but starving for purpose. Focus is the front door to your destiny, and once you learn to control it, life starts opening in ways that feel almost unfair. And today, you take the first step toward that transformation. If you want to understand the true power of focus, look at anyone who has ever built something meaningful. They all share one pattern. They chose what to pay attention to, and they protected that attention like it was life itself. Because it is. Your focus determines what grows in your life. Whatever you feed with attention expands. Whatever you starve of attention withers. Most people don't realize how much they are feeding the wrong things. Doubts, fears, distractions, tiny problems blown into massive storms because they keep staring at them. Imagine for a moment that every day you wake up with a flashlight. Wherever you point it, life illuminates. Point it at what's missing. You feel lack. Point it at what you can't control. You feel powerless. Point it at other people's opinions. You feel insecure. But point it at your mission, your growth, your possibilities, and suddenly life feels different. The world didn't change. You changed what you lit up. The danger is this: the world is designed to steal your focus. Every notification, every headline, every comparison, every temptation is engineered to hijack your mind. You must decide whether your focus will be intentional or accidental. Because if you don't control it, someone else will. But here's the secret most people never hear. Focus isn't about narrowing your life. It's about elevating it. It's about removing the clutter so your purpose can breathe. It's about giving your best energy to what actually matters instead of scattering your power across things that don't move your life forward. Think about what happens when you finally focus on healing instead of hurting, on learning instead of complaining, on progress instead of perfection. The entire emotional landscape of your life starts shifting. Opportunities appear. Solutions emerge. People who were not meant for your future fall away. Focus clears the path. But you can't control focus without controlling attitude, because attitude shapes where your attention flows. Attitude is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's the decision to face life with intention rather than reaction. The moment you claim ownership of your attitude, you reclaim control of the story you are writing each day. And that brings us to the second shift that transforms everything. Your attitude is the filter through which you experience the world. Two people can face the same event, the same challenge, even the same failure. One grows and one collapses. The difference isn't intelligence, skill, or talent, it's attitude. And the truth most people avoid is that attitude is not automatic. It's not something you are born with. It's something you choose moment by moment, breath by breath. Think back to a time when life hit you harder than you expected. Maybe it was a disappointment that cut deep, a betrayal you never saw coming, an opportunity that slipped away when you needed it most. In those moments, attitude becomes your compass. You can let the storm define you, or you can decide that your response will define the storm. You can let circumstances shrink your spirit, or you can choose to rise with a perspective that says, this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. And most people don't realize how powerful that shift is. Your attitude determines whether you see obstacles or possibilities, whether you cling to excuses or step into ownership, whether you stay in cycles of frustration or rise into transformation. Attitude is the voice inside you that whispers, try again, when the world expects you to quit. It's the strength to find meaning in struggle, to stay steady in uncertainty, to keep moving when everything feels heavy. And here's the truth: you cannot control the world, but you can control the lens through which you see it. You cannot stop challenges from showing up, but you can decide what they will become in your life, dead ends or doorways. But there's something even deeper. Your attitude shapes your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. You are always one decision away from a completely different life, but most people underestimate the weight of their choices. They make decisions from fear instead of purpose, from pressure instead of clarity, from emotion instead of intention. This is why attitude matters. It positions you to choose wisely, to choose courage over comfort, growth over stagnation, discipline over impulse, vision over distraction. Are you willing to make the decisions that your future self will thank you for? Because the moment you start choosing based on who you want to become instead of who you've been, everything changes. And that leads us to the third shift. Every decision you make becomes a vote for the person you will become. Most people don't see the connection between small choices and massive outcomes, but life is built in layers. Layers of decisions repeated over days, months, and years until they become the architecture of your destiny. And the danger is this: the decisions that shape your life rarely feel dramatic in the moment. They feel ordinary, simple, easy to dismiss. But those small decisions accumulate, they compound. They turn into habits, and habits turn into identity. Think about the decisions you make as tiny arrows pointing your life in a direction. Every decision pulls the bowstring of your future. The question is, where is it aimed? Do you choose what's easy or what's right? Do you choose what feels good now or what will feel extraordinary later? Do you choose to stay where you are or to move toward what you could become? Most people underestimate how often they choose the first option, the comfortable one, the familiar one. And after years of choosing comfort, they wonder why their life never transformed. Every major success story you admire began with a simple decision: I will not live like this anymore. I will become more. I will outgrow this version of myself. That moment, that decision is not dramatic. It's internal. It's quiet. But it shifts everything. It changes the trajectory of a life. But here's the challenge: when emotion rises, clarity falls. People make decisions in moments of stress, hunger, frustration, fear, and then spend years paying for choices made in minutes. But when you control your decisions, you control your direction. And when you combine focused attention, empowered attitude, and intentional decision making, you start shaping your environment instead of being shaped by it. Yet even with the right decisions, none of this is possible without mastering the fourth and final shift: your energy. Because decisions require strength, focus requires discipline, attitude requires resilience, and all of that comes from how you manage, protect, and invest your energy. Energy is the fuel of your life, and most people leak it without knowing. The wrong people drain it. The wrong habits steal it. The wrong environment suffocates it. Which means your transformation depends on your ability to take full ownership of your energy, where it goes, who gets access to it, and how it's renewed. And that brings us to the final shift that ties everything together. Your energy is the foundation of everything you do. It determines the strength behind your decisions, the clarity behind your focus, the resilience behind your attitude, and the pace of your transformation. Yet most people treat their energy as if it's limitless. They give it away to people who drain them, habits that weaken them, environments that deplete them, and thoughts that quietly break them from the inside. The truth is this: you cannot build a powerful life with a powerless internal state. Consider this: every interaction either adds to your energy or subtracts from it. Every habit either fuels your future or feeds your distractions. Every environment either elevates your potential or suffocates it. When you start seeing your energy as your most valuable currency, you become intentional about where it flows. Ask yourself, who gets my mornings? Who gets my attention? Who gets my peace? Who gets my time? Because whoever gets your energy gets your life. Here's the part people often overlook: energy is contagious. You absorb it from the people you surround yourself with. Spend enough time around negativity and your spirit becomes heavy. Spend enough time around people who complain, and soon you'll find reasons to complain. But surround yourself with people who think bigger, who aim higher, who challenge you to rise, and suddenly your life starts expanding. But energy isn't just about people. It's also about discipline. The way you eat, the way you rest, the way you move, the way you talk to yourself, these are not small things. They are signals to your subconscious about the kind of life you believe you deserve. When you treat your energy with respect, your mind responds with clarity. Your emotions respond with stability. Your body responds with strength. And when your energy aligns with your focus, attitude, and decisions, something extraordinary happens. You stop fighting your life and start fueling it. You stop forcing discipline and start embodying it. You stop searching for motivation and start generating momentum. Your transformation begins the moment you stop leaking energy into things that don't matter and start investing it into who you are becoming. And now that you understand these four shifts: focus, attitude, decisions, and energy, it's time to put them together into a system that will completely rewire the direction of your life. Imagine your life as a wheel, 4 spokes connecting to one center. When one spoke is broken, the wheel can still turn. But every rotation is shaky, unstable, exhausting. But when all 4 spokes are strong, the wheel moves smoothly, powerfully, efficiently. These 4 spokes, your focus, your attitude, your decisions, and your energy, form the wheel of your transformation. When they align, life stops feeling like a constant uphill battle and starts feeling like a clear path. Let's break down how this system works in real life. Start with focus. You choose what matters most for this season. Maybe it's rebuilding your confidence. Maybe it's improving your health. Maybe it's growing your career. Focus gives you direction. It tells your mind where to go and what to ignore. Then comes attitude. Your attitude shapes the emotional tone of your journey. It keeps you grounded when things get overwhelming. It reminds you to look for lessons instead of losses. It turns obstacles into stepping stones instead of stop signs. From attitude flows decisions. Every decision you make either honors your focus or betrays it. With the right attitude, you start choosing actions that align with your goals instead of reacting to your feelings. You wake up earlier. You learn instead of complain. You move instead of procrastinate. You speak differently. You think differently. You choose differently. And then comes energy, the fuel. Without managing your energy, even the best intentions collapse. When your energy is high, discipline feels natural. When your energy is low, everything becomes heavy. So you start protecting it. You stop chasing things that drain you. You step away from people who confuse you. You detach from habits that weaken you. You nourish the parts of you that help you rise. This is how the system works. Focus gives you direction. Attitude gives you perspective. Decisions give you momentum. Energy gives you endurance. Together they create unstoppable forward motion. But here's the truth you must understand. Transformation is not built in a single day. It's built in the quiet repetition of controlling these four things over and over until they become who you are. Transformation becomes inevitable when alignment becomes consistent. The question now is simple: how do you apply this system in your daily life? Let's walk through what a single day looks like when you take control of these four forces. Imagine waking up tomorrow with intention instead of autopilot. The moment your feet touch the floor, you set your focus for the day. Not 10 things, not a to-do list that feels like a burden. Just one core target, one thing that will move your life forward. When you choose focus, your mind stops wandering, your priorities sharpen, and distraction loses power. Next comes attitude. Before the world makes demands on you, you choose your internal state. You choose gratitude over complaint, curiosity over frustration, calm over chaos. That doesn't mean the day will be perfect. It means you'll meet imperfection with strength instead of surrender. You'll meet challenges with clarity instead of panic. You'll meet fear with courage instead of avoidance. Now you enter the world with decisions that match your direction. You choose to do the work you've been avoiding. You choose to take the step that scares you. You choose to keep the promises you made to yourself. And every time you make the decision that aligns with your future, your brain rewires. You strengthen the identity you're stepping into. You build self-trust, the foundation of confidence. But none of this happens if your energy is drained. So throughout the day, you guard it. You take breaks to restore you instead of distractions that numb you. You speak to yourself with compassion instead of criticism. You move your body. You breathe deeply. You create boundaries that protect your peace. You prioritize environments that support your growth instead of sabotage it. When you live a day like this, something shifts. You feel lighter, more grounded, more capable. And when you repeat this for a week, the shift becomes momentum. When you repeat it for a month, the shift becomes identity. When you repeat it for a year, the shift becomes a completely different life. This is how ordinary people create extraordinary transformations. Not through sudden miracles or dramatic moments, but through the daily discipline of controlling what is already theirs: focus, attitude, decisions, and energy. And now there's one more piece you need to understand: how to sustain this transformation when life gets difficult. You will not transform your life without resistance. The moment you start changing, everything that kept you stuck will try to pull you back. Old habits, old environments, old thoughts, and sometimes even old relationships. This resistance isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're evolving. Growth disrupts comfort. Comfort fights back. And this is where most people give up, because they mistake discomfort for misalignment. In reality, discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. To sustain change, you must build internal stability. And it starts with acceptance. Not everything will go your way. Not every day will feel powerful. Not every attempt will succeed. But your ability to keep controlling those four things even in the storm, that's what separates transformation from temporary motivation. When your focus gets blurry, return to clarity. Ask yourself, what truly matters right now? When life pulls you toward distraction, pull yourself back toward direction. When your attitude starts slipping into negativity, reset your perspective. Remind yourself of your mission, not your frustration. Remind yourself of your progress, not your limitations. Attitude is a daily reset, not a one-time achievement. When your decisions start slipping, simplify them. Complexity kills consistency. Choose the next right action, not the perfect one. Choose discipline today, even if it's small. Choose growth today, even if it's quiet. Every small decision strengthens the identity you're building. And when your energy collapses, which it will, you must learn to recharge instead of retreat. Rest is not weakness. Withdrawal is not failure. You cannot give from an empty mind or an exhausted heart. Refill your internal battery with whatever elevates you. Nature, silence, movement, meaningful conversations, learning, faith, creativity. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. And here's the truth that holds it all together. Your life does not transform when everything is perfect. It transforms when you decide to stay aligned even when everything is hard. This is how you stay consistent. This is how you stay grounded. This is how you progress even when the world tries to slow you down. But there is one final step, the moment where transformation stops being something you work for and becomes something you embody. There comes a moment in every transformation where you stop forcing change and start becoming the change. At first, controlling your focus, attitude, decisions, and energy feels deliberate, intentional, maybe even difficult. You have to think about it. You have to remind yourself. You have to push yourself. But with repetition, discipline becomes identity, focus becomes instinct, attitude becomes stable, decisions become aligned, energy becomes protected. What once felt like effort eventually becomes your natural state. This is the moment where people look at you and say, "You've changed." And they're right, you have. But what they don't understand is that you didn't become someone new. You finally stopped being held back by the things that kept you from being yourself. When you embody these four things consistently, your reality begins to shift in ways you couldn't imagine before. You think differently. You speak differently, you walk differently. You start attracting opportunities that match your new level of focus. You start building relationships that align with your new attitude. You start making decisions that elevate your future instead of sabotaging it. You start feeling energy that carries you instead of drains you. Transformation becomes visible not because you tell people you've changed, but because your life starts reflecting the changes you've made inside. You become more grounded, more intentional, more disciplined, more emotionally steady. You respond instead of react. You plan instead of panic. You lead instead of follow. You rise instead of retreat. People around you will notice. Some will be inspired, some will be threatened. Some will say you've become distant, but in truth, you've simply become aligned. You've stopped participating in your own destruction. You've stopped abandoning your future to protect your comfort. You've stopped giving your power to things unworthy of it. When you embody these four shifts, you stop hoping your life will change and you start expecting it to. Because change becomes the natural outcome of alignment. You no longer chase success, you create the conditions for success to grow. And that leads to the final message, the closing truth, the moment where everything comes together. If you take nothing else from everything you've heard today, take this: you are not waiting for a miracle. You are not waiting for permission. You are not waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself. You already have everything you need to transform your life. It is not outside you. It is inside you. And it always has been. Control your focus and you reclaim your direction. Control your attitude and you reclaim your perspective. Control your decisions and you reclaim your future. Control your energy and you reclaim your strength. These four things are the foundation of every transformation. The world can take many things from you, but it cannot take these unless you hand them over. Your life changes the moment you decide to live with intention instead of habit. The moment you choose clarity over chaos, the moment you choose responsibility over excuses, the moment you choose alignment over approval, the moment you choose growth over comfort. Every sunrise hands you these four powers again, waiting for you to pick them up and build something meaningful with them. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to take ownership of these four steps each day. Focus on what matters. Guard your attitude. Choose the decisions your future deserves. Protect your energy like it is sacred, because it is. And when you do this long enough, something extraordinary happens. Life begins to rise to meet you. Opportunities appear where there were none. Strength appears where you felt weak. Confidence appears where you once hesitated. Peace appears where there was noise. Purpose appears where there was uncertainty. You stop waiting for life to transform, and you realize you are the one transforming it. So ask yourself one question. Starting today, this moment, this breath, are you ready to take back control of the four things that shape everything? Are you ready to rise from the version of yourself that was surviving and step into the version that is ready to lead, ready to grow, ready to transform? Because your new life begins the moment you decide to control what is already yours. And that moment is now.